Imagine this. It's 1579. You're walking through the streets of Kyoto, Japan. Suddenly, the entire city stops. Not because of a festival, not because of royalty, but because of one man. A man so different from anything they'd ever seen that thousands of people literally thought he was a myth come to life. His name was Yasuke. And this is the true story of how an African warrior became Japan's first black samurai. In the late 1500s, Japan was a closed world. Most Japanese people had never seen anyone who didn't look like them. Their stories, their art, their entire understanding of humanity was shaped by isolation. Then the Portuguese arrived. With them came Jesuit missionaries trying to spread Christianity. And among them was a man who would change Japanese history forever, Yasuke. He came from Africa, most historians believe Mozambique, brought to Asia as a bodyguard for an Italian Jesuit named Alessandro Valiano. He wasn't a slave in the traditional sense. He was a trained warrior, a protector, powerful, intelligent, imposing. And when he stepped off that ship onto Japanese soil, he was unlike anything anyone had ever seen. Standing over 6 feet tall, towering in a country where the average height was around 5'3", with jet black skin that glistened in the sun, Yasuke didn't just turn heads, he stopped traffic. Literally. Crowds swarmed him in the streets. People reached out to touch his skin, convinced it had to be paint. Some thought he was a demon. Others thought he was a god. Rumors spread like wildfire. Children stared. Adults whispered. The entire city of Kyoto was talking about the giant black man. So many people gathered to see him that a mob formed. People were trampled. It got so chaotic that the Jesuits had to escort Yasuke away under guard just to keep the peace. But word had already spread to the most powerful man in Japan. His name was Oda Nobunaga. If you don't know Japanese history, just know this. Nobunaga was a legend, a brilliant, ruthless warlord in the middle of unifying Japan under his rule. He was known for being unpredictable, curious, and obsessed with anything rare or foreign. Guns, Western technology, art, ideas. If it was new, Nobunaga wanted it. So when he heard about this mysterious dark-skinned giant walking through his capital, he demanded to see him immediately. The Jesuits brought Yasuke to Nobunaga's castle, and here's where it gets interesting. Nobunaga didn't believe it. He thought the whole thing was a trick. He was convinced the foreigners had painted someone's skin black to impress him, maybe to gain favor or sell him something. So he did what any skeptical warlord would do. He ordered his servants to give Yasuke a bath. Not a polite, welcoming bath, a scrubbing. They rubbed his skin hard, trying to wash off what they were sure was pelt or dye. But nothing came off. Nobunaga watched, fascinated, stunned. This wasn't a trick. This man was real. And Nobunaga, a man who respected strength and rarity above all else, was immediately captivated. Here's what most people don't realize. Yasuke wasn't just a curiosity. He wasn't a pet or a trophy. He was capable. He spoke Japanese. He understood combat. He carried himself with discipline and presence. Nobunaga saw all of that immediately. Within days, Nobunaga did something almost unheard of. He gave Yasuke a katana, land, a stipend, a rank, and a position in his personal guard. Yasuke became a samurai, not as a symbolic gesture, as a real warrior in Nobunaga's inner circle. He ate with him, trained with him, fought beside him. Japanese records describe Yasuke as having the strength of 10 men. Nobunaga himself said he enjoyed talking to Yasuke and valued his perspective. In a culture obsessed with honor, tradition, and hierarchy, this African warrior earned respect at the highest level. And he didn't just stand around looking impressive. Yasuke fought in actual battles. He was there during sieges, during skirmishes, during the violent, chaotic wars that tore through Japan during the Sengoku period. He wasn't a footnote. He was a soldier, a trusted retainer, a samurai. But here's the tragedy. In 1582, just a few years after Yasuke joined him, Nobunaga was betrayed. One of his own generals, a man named Akechi Mitsuhide, launched a surprise attack on Nobunaga while he was staying at a temple in Kyoto. Surrounded and outnumbered, Nobunaga committed seppuku, ritual suicide rather than be captured. Yasuke fought to defend him until the very end. After Nobunaga's death, Yasuke tried to continue serving Nobunaga's heir, but he was captured by Mitsuhide's forces. And here's where the story gets murky. Mitsuhide didn't kill Yasuke. Instead, he dismissed him. Some historians think it was out of respect. Others believe Mitsuhide didn't consider Yasuke a real samurai because he was foreign, so killing him would have been beneath a warrior's honor. Either way, Yasuke was spared. He was returned to the Jesuits. And after that, history loses track of him. No one knows what happened. Did he stay in Japan? Did he return to Africa? Did he live out his days in peace? Or did he keep fighting? We don't know. But what we do know is this. For a brief, shining moment, an African man stood shoulder to shoulder with the most powerful warlord in Japan. He earned a sword, a title, respect. He became a samurai. Yasuke's story was nearly forgotten. For centuries, it was just a footnote in Japanese records. But today, people all over the world are rediscovering him. There are books, documentaries, even plans for movies and anime. Because his story isn't just about being the first. It's about what happens when someone refuses to be defined by other people's expectations. When someone walks into a world that's never seen anyone like them and earns respect not through mythology, but through presence, strength, and courage. Yasuke was real. His story is real. And it's a reminder that history is far stranger, far richer, and far more incredible than we usually give it credit for. If this story inspired you, drop a comment. Let me know what part hit you hardest. And if you want more untold history like this, hit subscribe. Because trust me, there's so much more where this came from.